Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. It's, you know, we lost the first run in the new place recently. That was a little devastating, but since then we've been playing. It's been a pretty good series of performances for AZS, for V484, sorry. Sometimes my brain gets 4s and V's confused, apparently. I didn't know. You don't know a lot of things about yourself until you start playing video games with some scrutiny on the internet, giving all of your, you know, wisdom and etc. out for free, by the way, every time you open your mouth. I didn't know I was bad at games, didn't know I confused numbers and letters sometimes. Didn't know the average commenter with a Vin Diesel avatar and a misspelled name had the gall, had the cojones to question my wherewithal and intelligence. Anyway, where am I going with this? I'm not totally sure yet. This is not an Excel floor, which is a little bit surprising to me. I'll probably spend a bomb there. I'm just looking for tinted rocks right now. Like, from a statistical standpoint, Rotten Baby is definitely, like, the best thing we got going on. But rate of fire is pretty nice. Damage is admittedly a little low, but that's okay. And now you still sound echoey. What gives? Listen here, you little so-and-so. This weekend, like, okay, just hear me out. Things have been a little busy packing our lives into boxes and moving. And the acoustic foam, due to the deep rattles, acoustic reverberations created by my vocal cords, the amplitude is too high. It keeps knocking them off the wall. This weekend, you know, Saturday's my day off. As an adult, the day off, it's not really a day off, and I'm not complaining, because I think I like it this way. But it's a day where you do all the stuff that doesn't count as work, but still, you know, if you were to, like, describe it, you would probably describe it as work. Getting the cordless drill. Every single one. There's like 40 pieces of acoustic foam. That's a great item right there. Every single one of them is getting screwed into the drywall. What about when you move out? Look, that's a future problem. Right now, we have a... pardon me. We have a present problem. The present problem is if I keep having to put up this acoustic foam 2 or 3 times a day, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. Excuse me, boys. My cats, they started to venture into the downstairs area now. Which is nice, because I miss them. Tomo, I miss you. But they're still, they figured it out. To be honest with you, I kind of liked it a little more before they had gotten used to the new setup here. Because, admittedly, it's a very selfish attitude for me to espouse here, but, excuse me, was that 2 tinted rocks on the same room? Is such a thing even possible? Maybe I'm losing my mind. Still a good payout. But when they were, you know, not as comfortable in the new place, they were, you know, hiding, they were quiet, they were very friendly towards one another as well, and it was like, oh my god, they're actually brothers. It's like when we take them to the vet, they become like as bonded as they've ever been in their entire lives. Now, they've gotten used to the new place, they're a little louder, they're fighting each other for, you know, territorial dominance again. They've adjusted quick, which is okay. Thank you, Dry Baby. I'm happy for them that they seem more comfortable, but at the same time, stop biting each other. Real Red Heart? Thank you for the real Red Heart. Ooh! Don't mind if I already did take it. Okay. Apart from that, it's, you know, it's just been nice. It's possible that over the course of this episode, you may have to hear me leave momentarily. We are expecting one final delivery. Get the whole place Working well? Hold on. I think we want this. I think that's the best long-term approach. Ruka, I see you. Ruka, I see you. Don't jump. He jumped on it. I'm not leaving the office to stop this cat, okay? That's not for me. The cat, they gotta explore. It's what a cat does. I just wish, I know that apparently this is a cat episode, but that's one of the best episodes instead of the, you know, I'm 30 sort of episodes, you know, where I'm just like, when I was younger, I was dumb. Now I'm a little smarter. Very good get. By the way, those I'm 30 episodes are ending pretty soon. In fact, by the time you listen to this, they will have already ended. For sure. For sure. Because I'm turning 31 in like 6 days. It's crazy. I was telling Kate, it's weird. Apparently this is an I'm 30 episode now. But 30 seems older than 31. I think it's because, I know it's not. Like, occasionally you'll say something very stupid, and then, you know, people that are watching will be like, that's stupid. 31 is a number with a higher magnitude than 30. Explain yourself. And I'm like, no, I know. This is a great gulp, brother. You know, I have completed a single arithmetic problem in my life. I'm aware. 31 minus 30 results in a non-negative, non-zero number. Okay? So I'm aware of the mathematical proof that we hold self-evident. However, it's like when you're turning 30. I didn't feel this way when I turned 20, really, but I also have no idea what I was thinking when I was turning 20. It's a long time ago, you know? I'm 30 now. Not sure if you knew that. Well, you know, when you're turning 30, you're like, it's the start of a brand new decade. You know? What could happen over the course of this decade? Nobody knows. You're not turning 30. You're entering your 30s. Turning 31, you're moving from the start of a new decade to, hey, you're in your early 30s. No longer is it like, you know, oh, you've got this big decade on the horizon ahead of you. Instead, you're like, you're the youngest you'll ever be in your 30s. I mean, you're the youngest you'll ever be at any time, but you know what I mean by that? I hope it makes sense. I feel like I've told this story before, but I had friends that had like a crisis of age when they turned 20. I remember, you know, they turned 20 and they're like, I'm getting old, which is hilarious in hindsight. It wasn't me, by the way. Legitimately, of all the neuroses I've got going on, aging is not one of them, especially not turning freaking 20, which is still just a little babby. NL, I'm not a babby. Listen to yourself. You sound like a babby right now. Help. He's done it. Anyway, I think the reason psychologically they felt like they were getting older is because, you know, when you enter a new decade, you kind of, you know, I'll admit, you know, when you enter your 30s, you're like, oh my God, soon I'm going to be 40, which is like, A, totally fine and who cares, but B, you know, you kind of, you take that decade, you make a little Mobius strip, and you feel like because you're at 30, you're almost at 40. But when you're at 31, you're like, oh my God, I'm so far away. I think it's the same with your 20s. You know, when you turn 20, you're like, oh my God, I'm in the decade where I will turn 30 in this decade. Then when you're 21, you're like, oh my God, I can drink in America now. So now, you know, that highlights the absurdity. Anyway, I just wish you could get inside the mind of a cat. That was what I was going to say earlier. Let's go inside the mind of a judge. You guys know that video? Maybe, maybe not. It's okay. So you can leave a little breadcrumbs of humor throughout the video, ideally. Help. Psychologically, I got a little overwhelmed here. There we go. We're back. I felt myself see the board again. Sorry, I keep getting distracted, ironically, by the cats chasing each other throughout the domicile, the abode, the etc. here. Thank you. I just want to reprogram feline DNA. Look, here's the thing. I think we can get a better trinket that will be worth a lot by holding Mom's box of trinkets Pinky Eye is whatever. It's fine. It's not bad. But, like, if we could get Curved Horn or something of, you know, that sort of ilk, that could be worth, you know, a ridiculous amount of value for us. So I don't really want to give up on that right away, even if Hallowed Ground is not worth much and Crack the Sky is worth kind of a lot, to be honest. But anyway, just here's the... I'm going to finish my train of thought so I don't forget again. Just reprogram cat psychology so that when they're afraid, they don't try to hide in the most dangerous spots, you know? I get that that's probably something evolutionarily that benefited them throughout their, you know, ancestral upbringing. He's saying that's ignorant. You don't. Can you hear this, cat? You don't know what goes on in my mind. Don't act like you know me. Very typical human. Think you can. Oh, there's something that needs fixing with another species psychology, huh? Anyway, he's probably not saying that. Instead, he's probably like, please give me wet food. But anyway, you know, just stop hiding. Like, in our old place, whenever there was a fire alarm, they would, like, jam themselves under the bed in such a way that, like, you know, I'm pretty sure if they just got up wrong, like, their spine would collapse. In the new place, they keep trying to... We had to get... Legitimately, this is not a joke. We had to buy baby locks. You know, when people are having, like, a newborn infant, and they'll baby-proof their whole house so their baby doesn't, you know, like, get in somewhere they're not supposed to be, like the liquor cabinet. Are those still a thing? Anyway, that's a subject for Google. I do not want it. We had to get those for our closet because they kept opening the closet door and hiding in there, which is whatever. It's not that bad. But, you know, sometimes they would stick their head through, and when they got startled, like when their neck was in the door, they would pull out, but their head would still be inside. And I'm like, one of these days, Cat's gonna pull the top of his freaking head off. We gotta baby-proof these doors. It's getting insane. Just like, look, something scary happens. There's a loud noise or something like that. I get it. You want to hide. Some of the places in the average household that are secluded because they're a little dangerous. You know, I don't want you climbing under the sink. I don't want you, like, opening up where the washer and dryer are and, like, trying to climb through, like, a hole in the drywall or something. Can't you just be normal? Just go, like, under the couch or something. It's not that... Like, our couch now has a little bit of clearance. Anyway. Regardless. I'm over it. Excuse me. Let me in, please. This is a tough one. I think homing tiers are extremely good, but if there's one thing that could screw this run right now, it's definitely HP. So let's take this opportunity to handle our HP via the miter. It won't necessarily sort us out, but it'll leave us in a pretty good place moving forward. It does feel good, though. This is like, basically, from like a business standpoint, for the entire month of November, recognizing that, like, I guarantee it's freaking December now. This is what we've been looking for. Hello, my son. What is it, buddy? This is me after I put up the acoustic foam going, testing, and being like, I think I hear a difference. There's no difference. Ruka. Oh. Yeah, what is it? It's a really good place for you to go, is to, you know, just walk in and amongst the wires at the bottom of the computer here. I think it's a really smart idea. What do you think, buddy? Ruka? He's not giving me meows anymore. But, like, for the month of November, essentially, you know, I ran a loss as far as videos go for, like, almost the whole month. I was the video production factory, which is just me, a room, and a microphone. I mean, we got it, right? The miter and straw plus decent damage would work quite nicely together. Let's just call it the positive way. We're spoiled for choice right now. We got a really nice kind of, you know, every time we walk into an item room, we've got a choice between two good items. Anyway, you know, the video production machine has been functioning at like, call it between 25 and 75% accuracy, which means that on any given week, I was releasing sometimes like 4 times more videos than I was recording. Luckily, because I'm insane sometimes, no, that's okay. I have like a backlog that is so large it makes people upset. People are like, oh my god, your Isaac backlog is like 20 days. Trust me when I say, the human brain is not well equipped to understand backlog science, okay? But it's gonna be like 20 days, and then it's gonna be 20 days, and then it's gonna be 20 days, and then it's gonna be like 4 days, because I recorded so little. Excuse me, did I must have gulped my, yeah, I did gulp my trinket. Yo, that's awesome. So it's gonna come down real quick, is what I'm trying to say. Mostly we've been playing like a lot of Bumbo, because it just came out, so I didn't have a chance to make a backlog for it in advance, which is totally fine. But anyway, I know it sounds like it's not totally fine. It's totally fine. Give me a spacebar item in here, please. But regardless, we're back to, you know, I put us at like 80% effectiveness right now. Still got a little, you know, because a couple of days per week, there's something I gotta, you know, we gotta take there's a furniture assembly, delivery, maintenance, you know. You get the idea. All sorts of weird stuff pops up from time to time that, you know, when you look at it from the outside, you would never think that it would happen. I'm drowsy. Thanks to the miter, I do think we can take this, but I don't know. Our only red heart for 1 damage was maybe a little bit too much. But it just feels good to be, like, doing my job again. That's, there, I'll say it. I talked about it before, but, you know, it's nice to have a job where, like, you know, when I was moving, I was like, man, please just let me go back to work. I will throw 80% of this stuff in the garbage. Not in the... Okay, we'll throw the junk in the garbage, but we'll take the stuff that is not junk and we'll donate it to, like, you know... Particularly, like, I'm embarrassed, like, as a 30-year-old man. I'm embarrassed, like, a little bit by my wardrobe. I think there's a lot of, like, influence because I've been watching Queer Eye, you know, over the past year, and I live in a city where, you know, men are very fashionable, to be honest. And I don't really, like, have... I think we should fish here. I know we're close to spawn, but no, we're probably at the tier cap, so let's not take those. I think that's like a 10 out of 10 item for us right now. I don't really have my own style. My own style right now is like t-shirts that have just existed in my life. Like I was one of those dudes, and this is informed, by the way, the reason that like merch has been slow is because we're trying to do it right and have something that, like, when people who know, you know, what youtube.com, twitch.tv/Northernlion is, they're gonna be like, I recognize that, it's emblematic of that, but at the same time, it's not just a cartoon bald man giving you like a thumbs up, you know what I mean? And it's a delicate balance because I don't want to, you know, we're not 100 Thieves. I don't want to just hit you with like the cyberpunk font logo or whatever, but you know, it takes time. But you know, most of the t-shirts that I wear come from like a couple of different segments of my life. My wife bought me like 7 shirts on Design by Humans like 5 years ago. There's a lot of those still in the rotation. And then, like, you know, every Twitch shirt that anybody that we're affiliated with has ever released. I mean, Polyphemus is in here, but I don't know. Here's the thing. Release the DLC and I'll start doing Boss Rush again. That's the rule. Hagalaz. So if there's a positive about moving, like, I'm gonna spin this into something more humorous instead of just a vlog about my life. You know I love trash TV, and, you know, for some people, your choice of what you watch on television also informs how they feel about you, like, as a human being. It's hard for me to reconcile, because I think I am a good person, but at the same time, I love watching shows about people whose lives are in disarray. And I still have not reconciled the cognitive dissonance there. But, like, when I think about who I am, like, deep down in my core, now, I'm like, well, I'm a man who has, you know, principles and who strives to live by those principles, you know, work hard and take pride in your work, treat people right, you know, don't do any more harm than is necessary to do, etc., etc. But I am also like, yo, new 90 Day Fiancé episode? That's appointment viewing. But anyway, I've been watching Hoarders, and I almost think there should be, like, when I watch a 90 Day Fiancé, never in my life have I been in danger of becoming, you know, the sort of individual that would find themselves on 90 Day Fiancé. However, I get it. I'm like, you know, okay, I see, like, a lot of these people, like, that are, the show takes place in America, but it's not like an exclusively American phenomenon, you know? A lot of the people are like, you know, they have trauma in their lives somewhere. I got married, like, really young, and then, you know, me and my partner got divorced, and, you know, I thought I was too old to find love, so I started looking for it on the internet, and now, like, I'm in kind of this transactional relationship where, like, I'm a 55-year-old dude, and she's, like, a 19-year-old lady, and we're in love, but the way we treat each other doesn't seem to indicate that anyway. But when I'm watching, I'm like, I get it. I can see how you could find yourself in that position. Hoarders, I want to preface this by saying I watch it now and then, but now I just find it sad. I've at least graduated past that. Because it's like, hoarding is a legitimate mental illness. But at the same time, when I watch it, I'm like, man, I don't understand it at all. Which is good for me, and I'm not trying to brag. I know how it sounds, but, like, you know, when I need, like, the opposite. Like, when we were moving, and my dad's the same way. It's, you know, when you get a little older, sometimes you realize you've inherited more from your parents than you thought you did. I know that is, like, anathema. If you're, like, 16 years old right now, you're like, I don't think so, buddy. Wait till you're, like, 25 and you're living on your own. You will find yourself accidentally, unconsciously saying things that your mom and dad said all the time. But, you know, every time we move, I'm like, I just want to throw out everything. I'll get ridiculous. Why do we have 2 slotted spoons? Have we ever made 2 things at the same time that require 2 slotted spoons? I'm just gonna throw this whole drawer in the trash. And then Kate talks me down from the ledge. I don't throw it in the trash. Maybe we decide to keep 1 slotted spoon. Maybe we decide to keep both. It's really whatever she wants. I just lift the boxes, you know? That's what I'm like. So my favorite part of moving was when we moved, like, our clothes, and when I got to my, like, t-shirts, I was like, man, I can yeet, like, half of these. I mean no disrespect, okay? But did I yeet all the Twitch shirts? Yeah. Well, I mean, I yeeted, like, at least 90% of them. Because I worn them a lot, for one, and they've been washed and dried a lot. Some of the neck holes have blown out. Some of the sleeves are floppy. They don't make your arms look nice. It makes you look like a... It just doesn't look... I'm not trying to say professional, but you know what I mean. It looks like ungroomed or something. And I need the sleeves to fit tight because I have, like, tricep hair. I'm not trying to show that off on a daily basis. Alternatively, I suppose I could start shaving the backs of my arms, but it's getting a little... Like, come on, there's only so many hours in a day, right? So, you know, if you find yourself in a value village in the Vancouver area, and you see a Mathis Fallout shirt, tell Cersei it was me. I thought about saving them as, like, souvenirs, but, or, like, you know, I was like, oh, I'm betraying my friend's t-shirt by donating it to a thrift store. Well, like, quite the opposite. It's like, now if it could find a home where, like, people could actually, you know, maybe love it instead of listing it, then, you know, hey, it's free advertising. But secondly, I was like, screw you, I already paid for the shirt. paid for something once 5 years ago, that doesn't mean I have to hold it in my home forever. Anyway, the whole purpose and crux of this bit was gonna be, I have no problem even throwing out useful things. Like, some people, when it comes to, like, tossing things out, they have a complex, which is, you know, it sucks. Let's just call it like we see it. But it's also not, like, I can't relate to it at all. People are like, you know, hey, can I throw out this old magazine? And they're like, I don't know, there was a recipe in there that I might use one day. That's not me. Kate's like, should I throw out, you know, this thing that you use once every 3 months? And I'm like, ah, yeah, if I ever need it again, I'll just buy a new one. Not big things, not like, you know, my computer. Again, when I say throw out, I want to be clear, because we're trying to live in the greenest city on Earth by 2020. Recycle, compost, etc., etc. We're doing all the bins. We got like 15 bins. You got your cardboard, then you got your mixed paper, then you got, you know, your compost, obviously. You got your bottles, the glass jars and bottles. You got your other containers. It's, you know, it's the way of the world. I'm telling you, I don't know if it's been invented yet, or if it's a problem that's too hard to solve. Feel like they should invent like and this is admittedly a little laziness talking, but a lot of history's greatest inventions have been the result of laziness. You can imagine if, like, the internet existed, you'll understand why in 2 seconds why this bit doesn't make any sense. But just imagine the internet existed somehow, powered by steam maybe, when Thomas Edison was, like, you know, inventing electric light bulbs. Oh, look at this, Thomas Edison, too lazy to light a candle. I don't want to snuff it out at night. Oh, too lazy to snuff out a candle, huh, Thomas Edison? Anyway, the point is, you guys would have shut him down. You need to invent like a device, like a filter that all recycling can pass through, and then auto-sort it. Like, if they can do that with Coinstar, why can't they make like a CanStar, where you just dump in all of your recycling, and it goes like glass, 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 organics. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. I'm posing this question because I'm too dumb to understand why it's complex. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Obviously, radio, of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya! See ya!